While we don't have a release date for Mechanicus II yet, we do have a lot of great information about huge gameplay changes and systems coming that could potentially put Mechanicus II into the top tier of turn-based squad tactics games. I'll share with you everything that we know so far and why they seem to be making all of the right changes. But first, just to get some context, let's discuss the pros and cons of the original Warhammer 40k Mechanicus.
From the moment I understood the weakness of my flesh, it disgusted me.
For starters, Mechanicus absolutely nails the environment and aesthetic it's going for. Everything from the font choices and character screens to the interface of the tombs blends together to create this universal theme. Sound design and background music are the icing on the cake, and fans will be happy to know that the composer is confirmed to be returning for Mechanicus II. Even if you're not a hardcore Warhammer fan, the dark, gothic atmosphere really feels complete and does a great job of drawing you in. The combat system comes in with some high notes too, my personal favorite being the Mechanicus twist on action points, called Cognition. With Cognition points being the only real limit during your turn, you can move, attack, and use abilities in any order as long as you have the points for it, and this blows the tactical possibilities wide open. Downed enemies and set areas in the levels also give Cognition points, helping to reinforce the importance of positioning and planning ahead. This really is the backbone of the combat system, and it's something I hope doesn't get changed around or messed with too much in the sequel. But the depth outside of that is kinda questionable, with no form of cover and a line of sight system that can feel off at times. As for the overworld, the mission select screens and the inside of your ship look cool, but that's about it. And as much as I like how the tombs look too, after a few they just feel like RNG, as the positive and negative outcomes of events aren't consistent no matter what you choose. This, plus the timed, always running awakening system, kind of kills the idea of exploration and turns the tombs into a speedrun to the end, especially in the early game when you're still weak and the battles can take a lot longer. However, another big plus of Mechanicus is the amount of customization options, including a wide variety of character builds and squad compositions, along with adjustable settings for nearly every major game mechanic I've mentioned. This really lets the players define their own experience and is something I wish we saw more of in games.
We need it!
So how is Mechanicus II addressing and updating these systems? The biggest change that you've probably heard about is that there will be two campaigns, one where you play as the humans, Adeptus Mechanicus, and one where you play as the Necrons, the enemies from the first game. This by itself is great, but I think there's an even bigger and better change coming that I'll get to. Each campaign is specifically designed around the forces you'll be playing as, affecting everything from their UI to their combat style. The story is also more fleshed out with multiple endings, as you will view the same campaign events but from each side's point of view, and the developers have said to get the true ending you will need to finish both campaigns. Now if you're a new player or not really that deep into Warhammer, you should be okay here. It was also stated that there will be a focused effort on accessibility for new players and not require them to understand and know all the lore immediately. However, if you did play or finish the first game, there is a canon ending and some events will be referenced. As for the combat, it will look significantly different in Mechanicus II thanks to a brand new cover system with a little bit of a twist. The human forces will be able to use the environment to take cover, while the Necrons will mercilessly push forward and destroy that cover. I'm not sure if it'll be a hit percentage system or dodge chance, but some form of cover is generally the norm these days and will add another nice tactical layer to the battlefield. Also, just going off of developer screenshots, it appears that the basics of the cognition system from the original Mechanicus game is still there. It's also confirmed that the awakening and timer mechanics will be returning as well and play a big part in the next system being introduced. And this is the big one. But first, let me know in the comments what you think about the changes Mechanicus II is making. Personally, I was hoping the timers wouldn't return. I know in the original they kind of become a non-issue in the mid to late game, but I'm just not a fan of excessive timed mechanics in any game really. However, I am pretty excited about the new addition of a strategy layer and overworld that will be coming to Mechanicus II. That's right, you won't just be fighting in the tombs anymore. Outposts and territories on the surface of the planet will make up a meta layer, with the Necrons on defense and the humans trying to expand and get more resources. This will be a crucial tug of war, with the player having to make decisions on where to defend and attack, as well as stationing leaders and troops to sway the numbers to your advantage in battle. From the screenshot we can see there are objectives in each region, facilities and cities to attack or repair, and clearly sectioned off territories that you'll be fighting for. If done correctly, this will really add a whole new dimension to Mechanicus and give it that extra layer of depth the original really didn't have. Instead of running tombs over and over, having an entire planetary war to mind at the same time will be a game changer. Throw in your own customized tech priests or Necron nobles, and all we need is a mod support announcement for the package to be complete. Mechanicus II is looking very promising, so be sure and hit the like button to let me know that you want to see more coverage of this game as we get it.